Hi everyone, welcome back. These are in the core practices. This is a bit of a bonus video where let's go through an actual scenario. Let's talk through these core practices in a real world setting. These are Agile scenarios, and this particular one is based on the core practices that we've seen so far. So let's pretend, or let's say you're working as the project lead for the JGH company. A mythical company in this example, and they want to deliver a brand new website with a shopping cart so they can make some money and sell some products, of course. Now we're saying a new website here, but this could just as easily be any type of knowledge-based work. Yes, Agile is traditionally software development. It's a lightweight software development methodology. However, it also applies to any knowledge-based or anything where it's not physical necessarily. You could be designing a new shed or designing a new car. You could be looking at problem solving for a particular item, engineering, or any other physical product where it's complex and it's not a straightforward process to create it, or business as usual. So first, let's ensure that we have the right team. And this is our whole team approach. Let's say we have our product owner. They represent the customer, of course, or the person who we're delivering the website to internally to the organization. Whoever owns that function or that part of the organization might be our product owner as well. Now we also need developers, we need designers, we need testers, we might need a business analyst in there somewhere as well. Anyone who is going to be working on this product, we want to bring them in to our project team so we don't have to go externally and have to worry about the waste that appears in the process when we have to go externally. We want it to be nice and quick all the time. Now let's say we notice that there's a separate team in charge of the shopping carts around the organization. And so we ask them to provide us with one person for the duration of the project. We bring that person in to our team, the whole team approach. And so we don't have to go externally during the life of our project. And that gives us such a great foundation. Now we write down the high-level features that the product owner wants. So meeting with the product owner, and we could also include the other people in our team, probably good practice to do so. So the developers, the testers, obviously, business analysts, designers, anyone else. So they potentially could have an input or get an early idea of these features. But with the product owner who we're potentially delivering this product to, we find out that they want a website sales page and then a shopping cart as well. So that's how we're going to make the sales. And the product owner decides or has input into which feature they want to deliver first. So you will very much notice that this is rolling wave planning, where we're starting at a high level feature first. We'll plan in more detail later on. It's also feature driven development, where we're planning by features. So we've got the website sales page as a feature and the shopping cart as a separate feature. And there could be 3 or 4 other extra features there. Maybe there's login space, maybe there's something else, email blasts or whatever it is. Those will be separate features. And we're starting with 2 here. And of course, we're using increments. We're delivering in increments. So this is our incremental project lifecycle from right at the beginning that you'll notice as well. Now, we break down the features into assignable tasks shown as user stories. So this is where we're breaking it down. We're decomposing our high-level features into smaller work packages. And we're also, to do that, we're getting everyone together. So the product owner advises, he or she says, it'd be good to have that website delivered first. So we can't have a shopping cart if we don't have a website. So let's do that first. Hey, sounds like a solid approach. I'm glad everyone is on the same page with that. And then meeting with the product owner and what we might call the 3 amigos in Agile: developers, testers, and business analysts. Then we break down those features into smaller tasks. And we're going to use that given, when, then approach, which we'll see come up in the next few videos as well. But this will help break them down into smaller tasks that we can assign to people. And given a certain scenario, when this happens, then I want this to happen. It's just a nice way to sort of break it down. And then we place these tasks into our backlog of work. It's basically, let's say, if we've got a Kanban board, our first column is the backlog, and we will place these cards and tasks and user stories into that backlog of work ready to be assigned to people. Now, we need to decide how much work we can take on in the next iteration of work. So let's say we're working in iterations. We've got 2-week iterations, 2-week iterations, 2-week iterations. We're doing our rolling wave planning where we've got our feature. We've broken it down into smaller tasks now. And that's just before our 2-week iteration. Now we need to decide how much work we can do. If it's our first iteration, maybe we don't know how quickly our team can work. So, because it's the first sprint or the first iteration, each team member estimates how many stories they can complete. And this will adjust over the next few iterations as we come to know our velocity. The velocity is how much work we can complete. So we don't really know yet. We might have a rough idea, but over our next few iterations, we will be able to see how much we've completed, and then we can adjust our approach based on that, as you'll see. So altogether, the team assigns 18 cards to, amongst themselves, and we place those cards onto that Kanban board in progress now. Instead of, they're not in the backlog anymore, now they're moving across the board in progress. This is release and iteration planning, or sprint planning, that you'll see in the Scrum methodology. Now, the team meets each day. Does this sound familiar? It's the daily stand-up, and each person advises what they did yesterday, what they'll do today, and any blockers that they need help with. So now, if we're the project lead here, if we're the project coach, or the Agile coach, or the Scrum Master, or whatever you're actually called, could be many different things depending on the organization, or the country, or the area that you're working in, it's your job to help facilitate the removal of these blockers. Let's give an example. A developer needs a certain logo design, and that's not within your team. Your team doesn't have the capability or the people who design these logos. So now it's your job to help facilitate that process. You reach out to the team in charge of that design and you help get it to your developer. Maybe you set up a meeting for everyone to talk it through. Maybe you help that other team work through any constraints they have in getting someone assigned to design that logo for you. Basically, it's your job to get rid of those blockers so the work can proceed. And you move those cards along the Kanban board until they are done. Now, at the end of our 2-week iteration, the team actually has completed 20 cards. So we took on 2 extra cards instead of that 18. So that's great work. And that's because with Kanban, we're using a pull approach, and you'll see this come up in the Agile and Lean frameworks. But so that means our velocity, or how much work we could complete, was slightly higher than we thought, and that's great. We'll use this as the baseline for our next iteration. So now we know roughly we can complete 20 cards. That's what we're going to use. Now we demonstrate that feature to the product owner. So we demonstrate that sales page as our part of our demonstrations and reviews, also known as a sprint review in Scrum. So you might see that come up as well. But we make a demonstration. We get everyone either on a call or we get everyone in the same room, and we demonstrate that website to the product owner and other customers or stakeholders. And they give us the feedback, or they accept that feature as it is. Now we can reflect and improve on our process. And this is our process of retrospectives. So once we've demonstrated that feature at our sprint review, now we can reflect as a team. We ask what went well, what didn't go well, or what could we improve? What did I learn, and what still puzzles me? Now we can adjust for our purposes here. As we said, we can, what did we learn? Well, we learned that our velocity is probably closer to 20 cards. So we can adjust our velocity. And we also might want to bring along a logo designer into our whole team because we had to go externally for that. So is that something that we need to talk about and improve within our way of work for the future? This is potentially the things that might come up in our scenario. Now, of course, we repeat the process so we can groom and prioritize the product backlog again and plan the next sprint and do the whole process again. We're iterating towards the end and towards success. So we've already delivered the feature, the feature of the website sales page. Now we work with our product owner, and lo and behold, well, there's only one feature in this example left. So we decide on that next feature, and that is the shopping cart. And then we break that down into tasks, and we assign 20 of them and place them into the Kanban board for the next iteration to complete that next feature. What will we do then? We'll finish those cards, hopefully, we'll demonstrate it to the customer, and then we'll have another retrospective and hopefully improve our way of work even more. Now, this is just a nice, neat example of all of these core practices that we've just been through, and now all of the Lean and Agile frameworks that you will see that touch on these core practices as well. I hope you have enjoyed it. Bye for now.